Ahead on CBN NewsWatch, shutdown, showdown. See what the president is willing to compromise in the budget to prevent a government shutdown. Plus,
it's an incredible fear that is everywhere in society. Nobody dares to speak up anymore.
CBN News is asking the question, did fascism really end in Germany? And then
the prayer and the hope of many generations next year in Jerusalem came to pass.
Suddenly it becomes this year in Jerusalem.
How Israeli paratroopers recaptured the Temple Mount. And thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. All eyes are on Capitol Hill today as the government shutdown deadline approaches. Funding of a border wall and Obamacare are the main sticking points. Gary Lane is on this story.
With the Friday midnight government shutdown deadline approaching, President Trump appears ready to compromise with Democrats. They're refusing to approve a $1 trillion catch-all spending bill if Mr. Trump insists on spending $1.5 billion to begin construction of his promised border wall with Mexico. They're also against his changes in funding for Obamacare. Earlier in the day Monday, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer suggested the president would push forward with his agenda.
We're going to continue to push for health care reform, and I think that the construction of a wall is going to continue to be an area that moves forward.
During the presidential campaign, Trump insisted he would build a wall and Mexico would pay for it. Some Republicans and Democrats, like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, remain opposed to wall construction and skeptical about its funding.
Show me. Let's hear the plan.
Senator Lindsey Graham urged Democrats to compromise with Republicans to prevent a government shutdown.
There's some things that they want, and that's kind of horse trading. So if you draw a line in the sand, the people who usually do that wind up getting more blamed than others who don't.
But later in the day Monday, it was the president himself who reportedly offered compromise. The president suggested border wall funding would wait, at least until September. As the party in control of the government, he doesn't want Republicans to shoulder the blame for any shutdown. And the president's promised repeal and replace Obamacare has taken a back seat to the effort to avert a government shutdown. But moderate and conservative Republicans on Capitol Hill are still working to iron out their differences for a new health care proposal. They say they're getting close to the votes needed in the House to move forward. And other critical issues are taking center stage, like the growing nuclear threat from North Korea. The North has also warned it could blow up the U.S. aircraft carrier, the Carl Vinson. The ship will soon arrive off the South Korean coast. The nuclear-powered USS Michigan-guided missile submarine arrived on Monday. The entire U.S. Senate has been invited today to meet for a briefing by key military and security personnel at the White House. They'll discuss the growing North Korea nuclear threat and the possibility the North could eventually build missiles with nuclear bombs that could reach the U.S. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Interest rates are going up. The Federal Reserve is getting ready to raise its target interest rate after sitting at historically low levels for years. With $20 trillion in national debt, this could be an expensive proposition for Washington and for you, the taxpayer. CBN's Jenna Browder has the story.
It's a grim picture. $20 trillion in national debt, with interest payments about to go up, making that debt even more expensive.
Right now, we're just a couple percent of the budget. By the end of 10 years, it's going to be over 6 or 7% of the budget, almost $770 billion a year, more than national defense.
Justin Bogey with the Heritage Foundation says government estimates show the national debt could nearly double by 2046.
There's plenty of blame to go around, unfortunately.
He says the finger-pointing starts with lawmakers who have promised to scale back spending but failed to make it happen. Some financial experts also blame former President Obama. During his administration, the national debt roughly doubled, and with the Federal Reserve's record low interest rates, it was easy to keep kicking the can down the road. The buck's now been passed to President Trump.
If we don't do anything, it's just going to keep getting worse.
Bogey says the time to cut spending and start dealing with this exploding debt is now.
At some point, something's got to give, and the options are really to either cut programs in a big way or to increase taxes in a big way. So the longer that we put off changes, the longer that we delay entitlement reform and spending reforms and all of these things, then the higher the likelihood that there will be a tax increase.
He doesn't think raising taxes is the answer, but if Washington fails to change the way it spends, it could happen. And given the turmoil around the world.
So when you have issues surfacing in Syria, North Korea, other parts of the world, then that's a major problem and a big concern should be for all Americans.
There are too many other big fish to fry for the United States to be swimming in its own debt. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
An in-depth political investigation suggests there was much more to the Iran nuclear deal and prisoner swap than the Obama administration let the American people know. President Obama called the prisoners Iranian citizens in trouble for things like trade embargoes, but in reality, the Justice Department considered them to be threats to national security. Politico also reports the Justice Department dropped charges and international arrest warrants against 14 other Iranians who were considered fugitives. You can find more on what Politico uncovered and a link to the report at cbnnews.com. Georgia Governor Sonny Perdue is the new Agriculture Secretary in President Trump's administration. Perdue was confirmed in a bipartisan vote of 87-11. He will be the first Southerner to hold the position in more than 2 decades. During his confirmation hearing in March, he assured farm state senators he will advocate for rural America and reach out to Democrats. As secretary, he will be in charge of about 100,000 employees and the nation's food and farm programs. The Democratic National Committee Chairman Thomas Perez says if you are a Democrat, you must be pro-choice. He told the Huffington Post every Democrat, like every American, should support a woman's right to make her own choices about her body and her health. That is not negotiable. Marjorie Dannensfelser, a leading pro-life advisor to President Trump, fired back saying there is no room for dissent or exceptions among Democrats, only support for the party's radical platform, which calls for abortion on demand up until the moment of birth, paid for by taxpayer dollars. Make sure that you log on to cbnnews.com to see our full analysis on this story. Still ahead, here on CBN NewsWatch, it's a place where people are prosecuted for criticizing the government. We're going to show you the fascist practices happening in Germany.
8, 7.
Communism is said to have died with the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the Soviet Union. But a quarter of a century later, the spirit of communism appears to be alive and well in some parts of Europe, and it's threatening individual freedoms. Dil Hurd brings us the story now from Germany.
The Stasi Museum in Berlin, a monument to the ultimate surveillance society. It's housed in the old Stasi headquarters. The Stasi were the state police of communist East Germany, whose job was to spy on the population. On display are every type of spy gadget imaginable from a pre-internet era. 1 in 6 East Germans were either full-time spies or informers for the Stasi. When the Berlin Wall fell in 1989 and East Germany collapsed, East Germans looked forward to living in freedom. But now some are beginning to wonder just how free the new Germany is. Last year, a married couple was convicted for creating a Facebook group that criticized the government's open-door migration policy. At the trial, the man complained that Germans cannot even express a critical opinion of refugees without getting labeled as a Nazi. 60 others accused of writing speech critical of migrants also had their homes raided by police. In one poll, more than 4 in 10 Germans said they did not feel safe in expressing their real opinion about the refugee crisis.
It's a fair question to ask who really won the Cold War in Germany, because today former East Germans are living under speech oppression, similar to what they had to endure under communism.
Of course, today's Germany is very different from communist East Germany. But when it comes to criticism of migrants and the government's migrant policy, some former East Germans see similarities. Famous German pastor Dr. Theo Lehmann lived under persecution and surveillance for more than 40 years in East Germany. He learned after the Cold War that even his best friend had been spying on him for the East German police. He also learned that 4 local pastors spied on him.
That meant that every word you spoke in public had to be thought through, even in your own room.
Dr. Lehmann, now 82, knew what it was to be labeled and punished for his views, and he sees disturbing parallels between communist East Germany and the political correctness that rules Germany and Western Europe.
It's extremely annoying that nowadays again you have to measure every word, because later someone could come and criticize it. That hurts any free discussion, and it's an incredible fear that is everywhere in society. Nobody dares to speak up anymore, because you're always in danger when you say something that is against the mainstream. You could be called a racist or a fascist without any discussion. These labels are put on you right away.
Germany has the standard political labels of left, right, and center, but by American standards, most German politics and media range from left to far left. Flag-waving, patriotic, anti-immigration Germans are regularly branded in the media as fascist, racist, and treated as a dangerous element.
It's not the same as it was in East Germany. But they want to control us, and they do.
Former East German Heidi Mundt, known as the brave German woman because of her strong stand against Islamization, has paid a high personal price for deviating from the approved view on refugees in Germany. Leftists cover her neighborhood in leaflets, telling neighbors that they live next to a Nazi. Her husband Matthias lost his job because he too has spoken out publicly.
No one is willing or daring to speak out because everyone would say you are right-wing, you are a Nazi, you are a racist, and they will bash you terribly and they will ruin your reputation. And I know what about I'm speaking.
It's a problem across Europe. Dr. Lehmann makes a bold assertion.
We are moving towards a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship if one opinion is presented in such a way that everyone must conform to it. Is a fascist, racist, or something, and he who does not conform, and immediately you are out. This is what we had for 40 years under communism. People are more afraid now than in the times of Stalinism.
The German government is now trying to block so-called fake news on the internet, which to some looks like the way communist countries tried to block information from the outside world. But most Germans seem fine with it. Angela Merkel's so-called Conservative Party is back in the lead 6 months before the next election, even after a string of terrorist attacks tied to her open-door migration policy. So change may not come soon. Those who dissent will remain outsiders, labeled and shunned. Some might say it looks a little like East Germany. Dale Hurd, CBN News, Berlin.
Up next, the moment Jews waited thousands of years for. We'll show you how Israeli paratroopers recaptured the Temple Mount. Less than 20 years after reforming as a nation, Israel was on the verge of extinction. The city of Jerusalem was divided, and some holy sites, such as the Temple Mount, were under Arab control. But that all changed over the course of 6 fateful days in 1967. Scott Ross talked with the author of a book on the battle that reunited Jerusalem and how the heroes of that war went on to shape Israel.
The Temple Mount is in our hands. The famous words of Commander Motor, whose men helped reunite Jerusalem under Jewish sovereignty, fulfilling a 2,000-year-old dream.
This book is really a story of an Israeli band of brothers, young Israeli men who gave the Jewish people their greatest victory, I would say, in history, probably since the Exodus from Egypt. You know, suddenly we're born again as a people.
I spoke with American-born Israeli Yossi Klein Halevi about his book, Like Dreamers, the story of the Israeli paratroopers who reunited Jerusalem and divided a nation. Psalm 126, when God brings about the return to Zion, we were like dreamers. Then our mouths will be filled with laughter, our tongues with joyous song. And that's where you got the title. Halevi took me to the Mount of Olives overlooking the old city where Motor Gur commanded his troops.
The paratroopers came to this spot on the morning of June 7th, 1967. Matagor, very famous photograph, is looking out onto the Temple Mount and making the final preparations in his mind for the descent and the conquest of the old city. So he says, paratroopers of Brigade 55. And he tells them that Jews waited thousands of years for this moment. You are the ones who are privileged to restore Jerusalem to the Jewish people.
We retraced their steps to Lion's Gate of the old city.
This is the gate that the paratroopers, the Israeli soldiers, entered on June 7th, 1967. And then when they reached the Temple Mount, the famous words of Matagor, the commander of the paratroopers, were, "The Temple Mount is in our hands." And they find the wall, and there are these incredibly emotional scenes of battle-hardened paratroopers, many of them secular, most of them secular, weeping at the wall.
So the prayer and the hope of many generations next year in Jerusalem came to pass.
Suddenly it becomes this year in Jerusalem.
Halevi personalizes the history of Israel since then through the eyes of 6 such dreamers.
I felt that what was missing in the way people relate to the story of Israel was that personal connection. Right. And I always wondered, what happened to the guys who liberated the Western Wall in 1967? I grew up with that image as symbolizing the like dreamers story of Israel.
These paratroopers, do they really reflect and microcosm the story of this country?
The range that you have in this book are deeply religious people, West Bank settlers, secular Israelis, Tel Aviv residents, kibbutzniks, left-wingers. And it was very important for me to tell the story of the whole people of Israel. Because the way that I understand the Jewish people is that we're a family.
It took Halevi 12 of his 32 years in Israel to write the book.
One of my characters, Arik Achmon, starts off as a boy living on one of these radical socialist kibbutzim. He fights the trade unions, and he creates the first privatized company in the state of Israel and opens the way to the high-tech free economy that we have today.
One became known as Israel's Bob Dylan, and another started the settlement movement in Judea and Samaria. Halevi says his book tries to show the struggle within the Israeli soul over making peace with the Palestinians and dividing Jerusalem.
In my neighborhood, I've got Jewish neighbors, I've got Arab neighbors, in the same neighborhood, in the same building. Now, how do you separate that? How do you divide a city without, God forbid, destroying it? I don't see how Jerusalem can be shared between 2 political entities that are emerging out of a 100-year war.
And for people from my worldview and my Christian view, we take very seriously the psalmist when he says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love you.
Yes.
As you sit here and as we look at this, how do you pray for this city?
I pray that I personally should be worthy of living here, of holding this story at this moment. I pray that the people of Israel will be worthy of this story. I pray for our strength. I pray for our generosity of spirit. I pray that we be protected from hatred, that our hearts be open to love all the people of this land and all those who turn toward the city with hope. And I pray for all of us, and that's my prayer.
And for much more on this story, CBN has produced a documentary that will be in theaters on Tuesday, May 23rd. In Our Hands, The Battle for Jerusalem. Check out cbn.com for ticket information. We'll be right back. Thanks to Operation Blessing, the first business just opened in Karakosh, Iraq, after it was recently liberated from ISIS. ISIS destroyed many businesses during its occupation of the city, but one baker surprisingly found his business still standing when he returned. Operation Blessing has been donating new equipment so that he can start baking bread for the returning Iraqis. And on Easter, the bakery staff was able to make bread in the shape of crosses for their community. Operation Blessing has also pledged to help members of this community get back on their feet in the upcoming months with more business initiatives. Well, it's time now for your Tuesday Tweetable. This is a message I hope will inspire you and move you to post, tag, tweet, and share it with others. It's a familiar sentiment, as I just shared it yesterday, but feel compelled to share it yet again. Your greatest blessing, advancement, and promotion are on the other side of fear. Don't let that fear freeze you. Feel the pain and push past it. Share that word and make this a terrific Tuesday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. Make this a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you right back here. Come tomorrow. God bless.